dilapidated workshop. I'll have to get around to fixing that in some of these videos later. And we are looking at what is going to be the kitchen in the cottage. So when we were clearing out the building, we found some white metal cabinets, probably from the 30s, 40s sometime. We don't know if they're original, but you know, they've been in there a long time and they're pretty old. So we wanted to base the kitchen around metal cabinetry. But like I said, we didn't have really enough to build a kitchen out of, so we started acquiring metal cabinets. So we've got a sink base, and we got a vintage, probably early 50s oven, stovetop. This sink base, though, other than being in incredibly rough shape, which it is, it's very, very big for the space. So this thing is, I think it's like 5 feet long. So we quickly figured out when we tried laying out the kitchen that the big giant sink cabinet is just too big for the space. And we don't have enough cabinets to start with. And so I went up to Asheville last week and picked up these. Unfortunately, these metal cabinets are not that common in the South. They're a lot more common in like the Midwest. But got these. It's a start. So the reason why we're tackling cabinets and not like electrical or plumbing is until we have an established layout for the kitchen, I cannot do electrical and plumbing in the building. So that's why we're doing this step. Sometimes you have to do steps that you really don't want to do to get to the steps that you do want to do. So anyway, to work. Okay, so we've got them all sanded, prepped, got the little hinges taped off. Alright, first things first is a coat of primer, going with Rust-Oleum and a roller. I'm going to give that a shot and see how smooth. It's pretty cold this morning, and it's an oil-based primer, so we'll see how it lays out. I don't want to spray just because, yeah, this is kind of a confined area. I'll get spray everywhere, and I don't want to clean. So, all right, to work. Alright, so I brought more rusty junk home. This cabinet was free on Marketplace, and I figured I could use it for parts because I was getting ready to paint the cabinets, and I forgot I've got this kind of a drawer front, I guess it is, but somebody's cut a big hole in it for a drawer that I don't have anymore. So I got to figure something out before I paint these cabinets. I got to patch this hole. And then I was thinking, you know, this kitchen doesn't have any drawers in it. It's all just base cabinets and maybe an upper. So I'd like to have one drawer in the kitchen. I think that'd be nice. So I got these. They've got the slides. I can steal those. They've got these drawers. They're a similar make. Unfortunately, they're not identical. These are Youngstown's. The other ones are made by Geneva. So I was hoping that this drawer front would be the same, but this is actually wider. You can see I got about a ½ an inch to get rid of. So peeled that off. So yeah, I got to cut this down, adapt this, and patch it. So fun metalworking project. I know it's not, you know, full width, but it's close enough. I think it'll be better than not having a drawer. All right, let's get to work. Okay, so I put some primer on this. Forgot to film it. I used a Dremel to try to give the welded area the same texture, but I mean, you can definitely see the outline, so maybe I'll need some filler. Alright, that's about as far as I could take that because I don't have any filler. Let's get to cutting up the cabinet because I still need the guts to make this drawer work. Okay, got that all mocked up. Now I think probably didn't do the best job explaining what I was doing, but this is basically it. Nothing's welded, it's just held in with a couple of clamps. And the new drawer face should cover. That'll put in little filler panels here and on the other side, but that's what we're after. We had no drawers, now we have one drawer. It's better than none. Alright, dinner time. I'll get on this later, put that panel on, get everything welded up, and then we'll get back to painting. Ready to paint. That drawer needed a lot more fabrication work on it than I originally thought, but looks okay. Body worked it a little bit, metal worked it a lot, and it's the best it's going to get. So I think it'll work fine, but we are finally ready to paint. I did take a little break though, and by break I mean I built a 70-foot retaining wall next to the building. So a little springtime project that I've been putting off. We're going to get to work here on the building pretty soon, fixing it up. But for right now, let's get back to work on the cottage. So this is the general layout that we're going to be going for. So this is a 36-inch sink cabinet. I think originally this would have had maybe a very early like Formica countertop with like a drop-in. We did not want to go for that because that's more of a 50s look. We want to keep this looking 40s. So this is a 1947, I think it's an American Standard cast iron. We were able to pick this up off of Marketplace. It's in alright shape. It's got one dinger right here that we'll need to fill, but you know, I think it'll look appropriate. So yeah, I think this looks pretty good. So this is roughly exactly how it'll be laid out in the kitchen in the cottage. So just like that. So that gap, that's where the oven will be. And then on that side, that'll be a refrigerator. There's going to be a little bit of a filler panel in. So I have it. It's right there. It's an original filler panel that came with the Lazy Susan. So I have to bend it to that correct width to make up for the difference between our 36-inch sink and a 42-inch sink. Like I said, when I bought this, I was like, oh, 36-inch sink, cast iron, that should be pretty easy. And apparently wasn't. So all of these styles, I guess, would have had a drop-in sink. So anyway, that does it for this. Next big project is going to be getting electrical into the building. So I'm searching for subcontractors right now. We'll get some estimates, and if they're too high, I'll learn how to do electrical work, I guess. All right, thanks everybody for watching.